We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.
Here on Able Differently, we focus on individuals who are breaking limits in whatever they do, however small those limits are. I am Judy Okite.
And I am John Murioke.
Welcome.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Wilson Kenda is the leader of the Deaf Church in Ongata, Rongai. He admits to a tough upbringing riddled with challenges. He aspires to make a difference in the next generation. Let's take a look.
Wilson Kenda started experiencing problems with his hearing early in his childhood. He later lost his hearing completely. Initially, he joined a normal school, but since he could not blend in with the rest, he was enrolled into a special school. Despite being surrounded by pupils who signed, he still had challenges learning the art of sign language.
When I was born, I went to the hospital and I had difficulties up to the time I was 3 to 4 years. I kept being sick, and around 3 to 4 years, that's when it was confirmed I am deaf. And my parents took me to a hearing school, interestingly, but I couldn't hear anything. So it was very difficult for me. I had to go back home. And later on, when I was slightly older, that's when my parents realized that I cannot fit in a hearing school. And so I had to go to a deaf school where I learned sign language and continue with my school life.
After he had mastered the sign language, he longed for a normal conversation with his siblings, but only a few showed interest.
None of them really know sign language in a proficient way. So really, my communication with them is more on a serious matter, will be through writing, and so we never communicate much. So, and if there's anything for us to really talk about, then I would write. To be like the one whom I can communicate mostly in sign language is the 11th born, the one who comes after me. Yeah. So I don't know if it's because I am elder than him, and so I can influence him. And so his name is Simon, and I enjoy communicating with him most.
Kenda resigned to using the basic signs with his mother, who knew little signing. The father, on the other hand, had no interest at all.
When I go back home, I can't communicate with my parents, and so most of the times we would communicate through writing. You know, sometimes I would try to follow what they are saying, but when I'm in school, I would enjoy. So around class 6, 7, I had become a very good signer, and at home I had already also learned, how to mouth lip read. So I would sort of depend on that, but it was still difficult.
Kenda believes that had it not been for the communication barrier, he would have a superb relationship with his family. For now, He is more at ease with the deaf community that makes communication worthwhile.
Most of my deep relations is with the deaf people who know sign language, because the deaf understand my situation. I can share with them deep stuff about my life. Yeah. But you know, family is family, and especially if you're born in a deaf family with other deaf people, then it's easier for you to relate with them. But if you're in a hearing family, they're just talking. I can't hear what they're saying. So yeah, my relationship with my family is not strong. It would have been strong.
However, he is very grateful to his parents for giving him equal opportunities and supporting him. Marrying a deaf lady was a decision well thought out, as he articulates communication being key in a successful marriage. His wife, Mercy Mideva, who seems to agree with him, made her choice out of love and hopes to raise her children, teaching them the art of signing.
I got married to Kenda because I could communicate with him, and I enjoyed being around him from the days we were dating. And I'm glad that I got married to him. I'm enjoying. And our plans is that if we plan to get children, and we hope that our children, the way God gives them to us, we will take care of them as their family.
Kenda has faced a multitude of challenges and shared a few with us.
Like I entered into a supermarket, or in a matatu, or in other public spaces, there are all these challenges. And mainly the challenges are when I have to communicate. Like for instance, when I have to be scanned, so the person might be speaking to me and I can't hear what they're saying, and they're talking, or maybe I'm inquiring about something and they are talking to me because they can't see that disability, that deafness. So they will be talking to me. I just have to adjust. Deaf means you have to keep telling people that you're deaf.
He appealed to the society to be aware of some of the disabilities and have the interest in learning basic sign language.
The society can learn how to sign. And so I'm looking forward to a society where we have more people who are aware of deaf people and have some interest in learning sign language. Yeah, I know that is changing. It's not like before, but I'm hoping we would have more people who are aware of deaf people, and the deaf people have all these other gifts. Yeah. And they should not dismiss the deaf people, because the deaf people, the only thing they can do is that they can't hear. That deaf people communicate, they communicate through sign language. They have all these other things going on in their lives apart from their ability to hear.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Don't touch that dial, we'll be right back.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Welcome back, and you're watching Able Differently, a program where we take charge. Issues relating to low vision are the cause of most pupils and students ending up being visually impaired. The PCA Kikuyu Hospital has realized this and started an awareness campaign. Take a look.
Jerry Wanjera is a vision therapist at the PCEA Kikuyu Hospital Eye Unit. The unit was started in 1994 for the low vision persons, and its main target has been school-going children. Concentrating on the school-going age is more beneficial, as chances of preventing or treatment is more effective in early diagnosis.
Why we concentrated more on children, it is because children, they have a lot of things to do with their vision, and they have a lot to. They are in school, they are running, they are reading, they are writing, and of course they have a long life. And of course, when the children have got vision problems, some of them they don't understand.
Also, it prevents wrong misdiagnosis. Teachers, on the other hand, are benefactors as they get trained on extra skills of handling low vision pupils and even identifying them. Wanjera explained the causes of low vision and ways of preventing and identifying it. Diet also playing a vital role in the overall process of healthy eyes.
Some of them at night, they don't want to move at all. They want just to stay in the house. When you tell them, like in the evening, to go out, they refuse. They don't want to go out. Others, they don't want to go and work in the sun. Those are some of the signs that you can pick. Or maybe the eyes are tearing out, they are red. You need to look out for those signs. Like the vitamin A, you can get them through milk, or pawpaws, or vegetables, like I've said, the kales, the spinach, and of course like the mangoes. But of course you need to eat a good and a well-balanced diet. But most of the eye problems, they don't have the kind of type of food that would say that this is what you need to eat to stop the damage. Some of them, they are conditions that they are inheritable, like you have so many conditions that are not treatable. They cannot just be treated by the way you eat, so they are genetic.
She emphasized the need to have frequent eye checkups.
In a year is okay, or when you realize you're feeling that there are some changes that you are noticing, you need to come. Like those children who have got refractive errors, they need to come after every 1 year. We need to evaluate whether they require change of their glasses. Those who have very high powers, they need to come after every 6 months, because we also need to check whether their retina is also good, because some of them can resort to retina issues. So for them, they need to come after every 6 months to be checked.
The eye unit clinic is generally affordable, but due to the high demand of patients, consultation charges may vary for those unwilling to put up with the long queues.
We have two ways. We have for express patients, those who do not want to queue, because our problem is long queues and many people complain you come and wait for long. So we have an express clinic whereby we charge 2,500. And for the general patient, we charge a consultation of 500. So for every person who don't mind to wait and queue, you pay 500 for consultation.
She strongly advises against over-the-counter medication for the eyes, as one might create a problem that was not there in the first place.
For me, professional, I would say it's not right, because you need to know what is causing or what is happening. Like if the itching, it is maybe you're feeling some falling sensation, or you're feeling something in your eyes. You don't need to treat yourself, because you can put something and you make the situation worse. So before you do anything, you need to be seen by a clinician to confirm that everything is okay.
Wanjera explained in brief what vision therapy entails and the different devices that are offered by the clinic to help one in reading and also improve the quality of life, if not restore it to almost normalcy.
Yeah, vision therapy is like you help the patient to realize that he has vision that he can use, though reduced, but he has vision that he can use to execute some tasks. Because you need to train some of them on how to use that vision. Once you give the devices, you need to train them on how to use those devices. And there are some patients who have conditions that, of course, depending on the condition, there are other conditions that affect the very center part of your eyes, where you need to use to read, and they cannot be able to use that center. So we train them on how to to locate another part in your eye to use, which is called the centric viewing training. So, and then of course there are some that you find their eyes are shaking, or they have a place where they can be able to turn their head, and the shaking is all that's called nystagmus. So that's called nerve point. You train them on how to use that point.
Beauty products were also not left out in this discussion. She emphasized the need to avoid using makeup that can alternately compromise one's sight.
With the contact lenses, they require a lot of hygiene, because it's something that you're putting inside your eye, and you know it's in contact with your eye, so it requires a lot of care and a lot of hygiene. So you need to really take care, because you cannot use the eyelashes or the eye pencils and you put the contact lens in. So probably when you're putting on the contact lenses, something may happen, and then the thing is inside your eyes, and you know that contact lenses, it's directly contact with you, with your eyes. So that is something that you really need to take care. So I think it's always good to avoid for the people who are using like contact lenses.
The eye unit at the PCEA Kikuyu Hospital is embarking on a journey to use different platforms in creating awareness. Schools being their main target, training teachers on screening and spreading the gospel of hope.
We have a platform. We have created a network, that is a network where we go to schools, we train teachers on screening, how to screen children, and we provide them with screening kits and the referral, identification, screening and referral, how they can identify, how they can screen and refer the children. So, and again, when we go out to the schools, we do a lot of sensitizations to the teachers and to the parents on how they can reach to our service. Yes.
Appeal to different stakeholders to be considerate of the low vision or visually impaired people, especially in areas of infrastructure.
It is very important for every person to understand their services, that when you go to the hospital in the eye unit or in a hospital and you're told you have this condition and we cannot treat, there is much to do, because the only thing we need to do what we call comprehensive low vision assessment or function of assessment. We see how well you're using your vision or how you're using your vision, and what we are trying to advocate for is most of the children are supposed to learn in their normal or regular schools instead of taking them to school for the visually impaired, because we have those services we can provide for optical devices, and of course they can be able to use their vision, the remaining vision they have, with those optical devices. We have quite a number that have gone through the regular schools, they have completed their schools, they are doing very well.
Their offices have spread out in the country due to the demand of eye care. One of the benefactors, Mr. Victor Malombe, attests to his struggles of misdiagnosis until he found himself at this center.
I came to get the correct diagnosis back in 2017 when I actually was told that I have a certain condition known as retinitis pigmentosa. It is through this eye unit that I was able to be referred, to the government agency. This is the National Council for Persons with Disability, because through that now my employer was actually able to, apart from even the registration, the medical report really helped, because my employer had to see actually there's a problem, And the medical report helped them to, now want to know how can we help you to do your work better? How can we help you to cope?
We're differently abled, differently.
Priska Msuya is a grandmother and caregiver of Henry, who has cerebral palsy. In her little ways, she goes out of her way to ensure that Henry is well taken care of. Take a look.
Priska is Henry's caregiver. Henry has cerebral palsy, which was detected after several visits to the hospital.
Alisaliwa vizuri nini St. Mary's. Sasa vile alisaliwa akakucha akamaliza kwa nyumba siku 4. Akaanza kulia akakataa kunyonya. Mama yake akampeleka hospitali Kenyatta. Wanasema bila alilazwa wakujua wako na ugonjwa gani mzito. Hao wakampatia kitanda akalala siku 9. Bila alilala siku 9 wakamwambia ako na ugonjwa ya yellow fever. Akaanza tena kulia na kunyorosha mwili. Tena mama yake akampeleka wapi IDH. Basi akalaswa wiki 3. Wakasema ako na meningitis.
In her sunset days, Priska faces a lot of challenges that senior citizens face. Taking care of her grandson pushes her to the edge.
Bila mimi si kukuwa na nguvu ya kumbeba na mama yake anatoka asubuhi na anakuja usiku. Sasa kanilemea siku hizi hata tumpeleki. Sasa ona anaenda kumaliza kama miezi 8 bila hajaenda.
As the sole breadwinner for the family, she rears chicken which she sells after they are fully grown. In spite of the challenges, all hope is not gone. Priska advises other parents and caregivers to be positive with children with disabilities.
Mtu kama huyu ni mtu mwenzangu. Siwezi kumficha kwa nyumba, nimfiche kwa sababu siwezi kuonekana nje. Hiyo ni hali ya Mungu. Kwa hivyo mimi siwezi kuzuia kumfunga kwa nyumba ati kwa sababu ndio mlemavu. Walemavu wengi wanatembea nje. Na watu hawezi kumchukia ati huyu ni mlemavu. Kuna wengi kweli wanachukia. Lakini kama mimi siwezi chukia mtoto yote.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability.
Article 6 of the UN Convention states that state parties recognize that women and girls with disabilities are subject to multiple discrimination, and in this regard shall take measures to ensure the full and equal enjoyment by them of all human rights and fundamental freedoms.
Speak directly to a person with disability, not to their companion or sign language interpreter. A lack of immediate response does not indicate that the person can't or won't respond. What do you think?
Yes, I think it is very important to be courteous even while addressing persons with disability. For example, for a person who is a VI, kindly address them directly. For a person who is deaf, they will respond once their interpreter has finished doing their sign language. For a person who has a physical challenge, they can hear you and understand you. Let's be courteous while addressing persons with disability.
That's all for today. Let's meet again next week on the same platform for more stories on persons with disability. I am John Muriuki.
And me, Judy Okite. Bye for now.